Welcome to Brea Talks, an insider's look into topics that affect your experiences in the city of Brea. Whether you live, work, or play here, we're bringing you the information you need to better understand your city. So now, we invite you to listen in as Brea Talks. Hello and welcome. I'm Dan Fenstermaker, and today Brea Talks summer fire safety, home hardening, and fireworks. With me today, friend of the show, our fire marshal from the Brea Fire Department, Nicole Pesqueira. Nicole, great seeing you again.
So great seeing you again, Dan. Thanks for having me on today.
Of course. Later on, we're also going to be joined by Ryan Klug with the Brea Police Department. He's our drone pilot, and we're going to talk about a few things regarding how drones play a role in our summer fire safety. But Nicole, last time you were on the show, it was for our episode Wildfires and What to Do. That was February of 2025. We had just witnessed the devastating wildfires in Los Angeles and Los Angeles County. And we spoke a little bit about home hardening back then. And I definitely want to revisit that today. But I also want to touch on some, best practices as it relates to summer fire safety. And of course, the 4th of July, which is right around the corner, and talk about fireworks. So let's start with the season that is summer. There used to be a term, fire season, right? But from what I understand, that's not really a thing now, or certainly as defined a period as it used to be.
That's absolutely correct. So years ago, we could generally point to a specific fire season, but today wildfire risk is something we monitor year-round. So drought conditions, low humidity, Santa Ana winds, and changing climate patterns have extended that threat far beyond the traditional summer and fall months. So while summer's still going to bring that elevated fire danger, fire agencies now prepare and respond to the wildfire threats throughout the year.
Sure. Okay. I kind of feel like summer's getting that way too. Oh, yeah. Sometimes summer feels like it's not a season anymore, but it's like sometimes it feels like it's year round.
Oh yeah, it really does.
Or certainly shifting. But the summer conditions are kind of what drive this fuel, drive the level of the fire hazard. It elevates fire hazards in areas with the dry conditions and whatnot.
Absolutely. Summer's going to bring those hotter temperatures, lower humidity, and very dry vegetation. So like grasses, weeds, and brush are going to lose moisture. They're going to become much easier to ignite, and then they're going to burn super fast. So it's going to take less heat, less time, and sometimes just a single spark to start a fire. So that's why we encourage residents to be especially vigilant during the summer months.
Sure, and it happens quickly. I mean, it doesn't take long for this stuff to dry out. It doesn't take very long for the effects of summer to take effect on these areas.
Correct. And if familiar with that carbon fire that we just had, that was about 208 acres out in the canyon area. We had very high moisture levels. There was some mist, there was some rains and drizzle, and we still had that fire moving because that ground fuel was so dry already. Got it. So it's crazy to see how fire can even behave in those conditions, because I feel like that's not what they taught us in school. So
sure.
It's interesting to see, but it's also scary because now we're seeing even if there's moisture out there, things can still burn. Right.
Absolutely. Okay. So one sign that it is summer. Something that everybody can get behind, barbecuing.
Absolutely.
They're common, they're fun, and if done properly, delicious.
Properly is the key word there.
Okay. No hockey pucks for hamburgers. You know what I mean?
No.
Let's keep them, moist, But they should also be done with extreme caution and care.
Definitely. So barbecues are a great way to enjoy summer, but they should always be used safely. You want to keep the grills at least 10 feet away from your house or any kind of structure, patio cover, fencing, and anything that could possibly burn, so anything combustible.
Okay.
So you never want to leave a grill unattended while cooking, and you want to keep kids and pets away from the cooking area, and you want to make sure grease trays are cleaned regularly. For the propane grills, you always want to check the hoses and connections for leaks before you actually use them. And a little preparation would go a long way towards preventing that fire. So taking those little extra steps, that's going to help you have a safe barbecue at your house.
A safe and hopefully delicious barbecue experience.
Hopefully delicious.
Just mentioning the grease trays and stuff like that. If something were to go sideways, and obviously, water not the best thing. Probably be prepared with something else other than water, because water's just going to spray that oil and grease everywhere else, and now you've got more stuff on fire.
Correct. Water and grease are not friends.
They're not pals. Got it.
Having baking soda, you could dump that on there.
Oh, okay.
You turn off the heat, whatever was causing that cooking, so the heat, the flame, or even covering it, try to smother it to take the oxygen out of it.
Okay, so even just something as simple as baking soda, that's good enough. So if you don't have a fire extinguisher, which you should, readily available.
Yes.
If you don't have one, go get one. But if you're barbecuing while listening to this, don't leave your grill unattended to go get a fire extinguisher. Maybe just have somebody go get you some baking soda, so you have it on hand to put something out in case of an emergency.
Yes, you need a good amount for that. But what's funny about these sorts of things that we do is I'll get a lot of phone calls later and be like, I never had a fire extinguisher, and I'll be like, you're breaking my fire marshal heart. But it's good to hear that you heard me and now you got one. But yes, go get your fire extinguisher.
Absolutely. Okay, let's step it up a notch. Campfires or fire pits. And then let's just break that down into the two. Let's talk about campfires first out in the wild. Personally, I'm not a camper. I wouldn't say that I'm not outdoorsy, but I definitely, come nighttime, I get very indoorsy. So I'll be outdoors during the day, and at night I'll glamp and I won't camp. But I know that I'm definitely probably in the minority of that, and that there are plenty of campers listening that want to set a campfire or whatever. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I'm with you. I'm probably a glamper, if anything. I'm
Sure.
very quirky about that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I have a bad back. I need to sleep in a bed.
Yeah, you need a bed. Exactly.
So when it comes to camping, you got to think like Smokey Bear. I mean, that's so important. First, you always want to check whether campfires are actually allowed where you're camping, because especially during this fire season, a lot of times they'll say, red flag, red alert, too hot, don't do it.
Got it.
Fire restrictions can actually change pretty quickly based on the conditions. You want to make sure that if you are doing the fire stuff, that you're actually using a designated fire ring if they have it. You want to keep your fire small and manageable. Don't get crazy with it. And don't leave it unattended.
Yeah, this isn't Burning Man.
That's right.
Yeah, you're out there trying to, beat the guy next to you for who has the biggest campfire. That's not what this is about.
Yes, you'd be surprised, but we have some neighbors that do that in their backyards.
Oh.
You have to show up. So that's another thing. Keep your house fires
under control.
Got it. But before you leave, you want to completely extinguish that campfire with water. You want to stir the ashes, and you want to add more water until everything is cool to the touch.
Okay.
Many wildfires have actually started from these campfires that people thought were out, but actually were still smoldering. Just remember, it takes an ember. So
Sure. Plenty of water on hand. Stir it. Make sure it's cool to the touch. What about beach fires, beach bonfires? So I know that there's sand everywhere, which doesn't seem combustible, and there's an entire ocean a couple hundred yards away, but people and property are still very much at risk if not done properly.
That's right, Dan. So beach bonfires should only be built in approved fire rings and in locations where they're permitted. Even at the beach, wind can carry those sparks and embers pretty far. So you never want to use pallets or any kind of treated wood. You want to keep that fire under control. No, nothing crazy. Don't be throwing anything in there.
Okay,
and fully extinguish it before you leave. Public safety is still the priority. Remember that. So even if you have sand there, there's still stuff that can burn.
Of course.
Got to be cognizant of that.
And it does get relatively windy, the beach, especially in the evening.
Absolutely.
I'll never understand if it's an onshore or an offshore. I don't know which direction. I know which way the wind's blowing, but I don't know what the proper terminology is. meteorology is not a hobby of mine, but it does. I do know that I bust out my sweatshirt when I'm at the beach at night. It does get breezy out there.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you. I'm really good at preventing fires, but anything else, nope, that's not me.
You touched on it a minute ago. Fire pits in your backyard, wood burning, gas. What can you tell us about those?
So backyard fire pits can be enjoyed if you're safely using them and you're using them properly. Like I said, we had some neighbors putting some stuff in there that they shouldn't have, and they were getting too big, too unruly. So you want to make sure that you're following the manufacturer's instructions for your fire pit. You want to keep that area around the pit clear of anything combustible, and you don't want to leave it unattended either. So gas fire pits are what I typically recommend because they're cleaner and easier to control.
Sure.
And the wood-burning fire pits, they can actually produce those spark and embers that create an additional fire risk. So no matter what type you want to have a hose nearby or an extinguisher or some kind of water source, and also be mindful of windy conditions. And it's important to note, too, that if you live in a high fire severity zone, you're not really allowed to be burning. If the only thing that we typically see that we allow are like a gas, either like the already plumbed gas line ones that they have, or a gas, because anything with wood's going to have embers, which could spark a wildfire. So definitely not in the high fire severity zones.
Got it. Okay. And we have a place where you can see where if you are within a high fire severity zone. We're going to talk about this map a little bit later on in the program.
Correct.
But definitely recognize where you are within that map and fire your backyard accordingly, I should say.
or not
fire at all. Exactly. Okay, so shifting away from actual open flames, there is one other particular fire risk over the summer that people don't think about. And that is the home's electrical system or infrastructure, especially as it relates to air conditioning units. That is something that should definitely be considered going into the summer months with the high usage of AC units.
That's a great point, Dan. It's like you've done this before.
You know what? I have a lot of friends in the Brea Fire Department. A lot of friends.
So you're correct. During hot weather, air conditioning systems are going to run longer and they're going to draw more power. So if a home's electrical system is outdated or it's overloaded, that can increase a risk of fire. You want to watch for warning signs like the flickering lights, warm outlets, trip breakers, or any unusual odors. Even your pets are actually really in tune to this before humans are, if you believe it. So if you see them acting funny, it could be your electrical. So definitely take a little walk around and look at stuff.
I avoid having pets, so maybe I should go get myself a pet.
There you go. Just get one. It'll alert to fire.
Yeah, there you go.
They can also start fires too. I've had some fires I've investigated with
so
pets
it's a give and take. So
That's right.
So it's a give and take. Got it. Okay. Got it.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. We'll have to balance that. I don't think my kid is going to want to spend too much time balancing it. I know where his vote is going to be.
It's a lot of work having a pet.
As far as like all these circuits, and like, does the city offer inspection to see where the house stands and where it's electrical? Is that something that we offer, or any tips of how people can survey their own electrical infrastructure to know if it's safe or not for maybe their AC unit?
So we do not.
Okay.
I can obviously give recommendations.
Sure.
Plugging anything high powered directly into an outlet. You don't want to be using any sort of extension cords or power strips for anything that's going to pull a lot of power. So like a refrigerator, microwave, stuff like that should be directly into an outlet.
Okay.
And we see a lot of stuff called like daisy chaining at people's homes. So it's like an extension cord to an extension cord or extension cord to a power strip. If I look around, there's probably some of that in here, Dan. I'm going to write you a notice after this.
Maybe. Yeah. Let's stay on topic here. As you've mentioned all these things that I'm looking around. Oh, where have I seen that? All right, we'll take care of that right after this.
Yes. So, but we do offer home hazard assessments for high fire severity zones, and we could talk about that later. But that's more for the exterior of the home. But inside, that is just something. Just use your best judgment. If it's funny, if your cords are frayed, torn, anything like that, you should swap them out, get new ones. Don't run any under rugs. They can get worn out that way as well. So just take a look around, look and see what you can find, because I'm sure every house has an extension cord or power strip or both plugged into each other somehow. So.
Yes. Okay. So everything should be nice, neat, clean, newish, and in good standing order.
And if you want to be an overachiever, after you use your appliances, unplug them. Let me tell you that I get a lot of grief from my boyfriend because I'll like make some toast or something and I'll unplug the toaster.
Oh, that would drive me nuts.
Or I'll unplug the coffee maker afterwards. He's like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "I'm not trying to have a fire at my house. Can you imagine the fire marshal's house burning to the ground?
Sure.
We're not having that here."
Not the best look.
Definitely
For sure.
not.
For sure. Okay, so we've done everything right. We've been careful with our backyard fire pits. We've unplugged our toasters. We've done everything right to avoid a fire, but our neighbor has not been so careful. So before they make their mistake, we should still be playing defense with what we call home hardening. And there's a lot you can do. So let's start with the perimeter of the property and move our way towards the structure.
Okay, so there is a difference between home hardening and defensible space.
Okay.
But to be most effective, you need both of them. So I'm going to speak about both, and I'm sure we'll touch upon this more and more as we go into this. But
Got it.
One of the most important things homeowners can do is maintain defensible space. Mm-hmm. So that means that removing any dead vegetation, clearing weeds, trimming brush, and reducing combustible materials around your property is going to be the best defense you can have. So in Brea, our weed abatement and brush clearance are just good ideas. They're going to be critical for prevention of a fire. And also, we're going out there and we're enforcing it. So you're going to get a nasty gram if you don't.
They're a good idea.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know
if it's not.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the goal is to reduce that available fuel so that if a fire starts nearby, it has less opportunity to spread towards your house.
Sure.
So in regards to that home hardening, there's a list of low-cost items you can do to your home to help protect it in the event of a wildfire. We're going to link it for you. There's a CAL FIRE link on the website that has great low-cost retrofit lists on that's going to have Class A rated roof suggestions, ember and flame resistant vents, non-combustible gutter covers, just to name a few of them. But it's a pretty intense list. But home hardening is what we're seeing is that other essential component that can really help your house stay standing in the event of a wildfire.
Okay. Approaching the house or ADU or condo or structure, there's something out there that's in the works, something called Zone Zero. What is Zone Zero?
So Zone Zero actually refers to the first 5 feet immediately surrounding your home.
Got it.
So research has shown that this is the area that's one of the most important zones for preventing homes from igniting during a wildfire. So the concept's pretty simple. Eliminate combustibles closest to the building. And that means avoiding things like wood mulch, stacked firewood, which is a common thing we see, especially in the wintertime. But our winters here aren't super cold, so it's still fire season.
Sure.
Combustible patio furniture, that's a big one. And dense vegetation that's right against the structure. So the idea is to create a non-combustible buffer that's going to reduce the chance of embers igniting your home. We're actually still awaiting official direction from the state on how to enforce this, but it is sounding like it will be retroactively required in the very high fire severity zone.
Okay.
So as we get more information on it, we're going to be pushing out educational media, and I'm sure I'll be asking for your help, Dan. And
I'm ready.
Yeah, I know.
Just don't talk about extension cords or any kind of surge protector, and I'm there.
Fantastic. And we're also going to be pushing out notifications to help everyone understand what this means for them and what's going to happen to how we're going to regulate and enforce at their house.
Got it. You mentioned stuff like immediately up to touching the house, like that's like not just vegetation, fencing, wood fencing.
Yes.
Fencing that separates your front yard from your backyard, but butts right up to the house. Wood siding, wood paneling.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then roofs and vents. You mentioned those also. What else can you tell us about those particular aspects and how it's important to address those?
Yes. So I have a lot of friends that fought at the Palisades fire in LA, and they all told me the same thing, that when it turned into a conflagration, so that means structure to structure, where they saw the embers going into the vents, and it caught the attics on fire, and that was the common way all these homes started to catch fire. So if there's one thing you do in the home hardening thing that's cost effective, it's putting the vents in. So the roofs, the venting, the fencing, and the siding are all ways embers can find their way into your home. So Class A fire-rated roofing materials will provide the best protection on the roof. So any sort of fire brands going on the roof are not going to be able to ignite as long as you don't have any pine needles or any other kind of dried plants or leaves on top. Vents should be the ember resistant or screened appropriately. That's going to keep the burning embers out of your attic and your crawl spaces. Wood fencing that directly connects to the home can actually act like a fuse during a wildfire, if you'd believe it. So non-combustible materials near that structure are preferable. They say at least 10 feet connected to the house out, at least. Probably more if you can. And then for siding, anything ignition resistant or non-combustible is going to provide better protection. Than like anything traditional like wood paneling.
The vents, you had mentioned, you used a term.
Conflagration?
No, ember resistant.
Ember resistant. Yes.
Okay, so there's just any old vent or screen isn't necessarily good enough. Where can they find ember resistant vents?
No, there's different levels. You can actually get stuff at Home Depot that meets the requirement.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, and you could do it yourself or get a handyman to do it. So it's actually relatively cost effective to do. There are fancier ones that do cost a little bit more that have like the state certification and seal. And the biggest thing is making sure it's 1/8 to 1/16 inch. But my understanding is with the 1/16 inch, it really affects airflow, which can cause even other problems with the home. So 1/8 inch is okay. And
is that the space between, so that's not the gauge of metal thickness, that's the space between the each square.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
All right. And Home Depot, and it would say it.
Yeah, you would just look for something that kind of meets the specifics of that. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. That is a ton of stuff. And I appreciate it. I learned a lot here today, clearly. I have work to do myself. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to inform you and the rest of the Brea residents.
Last part of our discussion, fireworks.
Yeah.
And this is the year to talk about it because America's turning 250 years old. And everybody's excited. If I were turning 250 years old, I'd want a party too. Okay?
I mean, could you though?
I mean, I don't know. Challenge accepted. But it's super important to understand that Brea is not the place for fireworks. They are illegal here, and it's not because we're no fun. There's a very good reason why they're illegal in Brea. Tell us why fireworks in Brea are illegal and a terrible, terrible idea.
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, fireworks are dangerous everywhere, not even in Brea.
Sure.
Everywhere.
Sure.
Every year, they cause thousands of injuries, fires, and emergency room visits across the country. And believe me, some of the advertising campaigns they show of people's mangled hands and whatnot, and the horror stories you hear about firework hitting a kid in the face and they're now blind and stuff, it's real. It's out there, and it's concerning just in that right. But in Brea, there's an added concern. So almost 50% of Brea is located within or adjacent to a high fire severity zone. And so combined, the dry vegetation, the summer weather conditions, a single firework can quickly ignite a brush fire that's going to threaten homes, businesses, as well as lives. So fireworks can seem harmless for a few moments of entertainment, and they look cool, but the consequences can be devastating and long-lasting. And if you do end up lighting a fire because of a firework, you're facing very, very big fines and jail time because there's a lot of enhancements when it's in a high fire severity zone, and it's considered reckless.
Sure. Got it. Okay, so in a minute, As I mentioned, we're going to hear from Officer Klug in the Brea Police Department on the fines associated with firework violations and how we're enforcing these no firework laws. But I just want to be clear, aside from being outright dangerous to individuals around them, all the brush in the hills, the trees throughout the city, everything that makes us a high fire severity zone throughout the city, primed by those summer conditions we spoke about at the top of the show, have literally put Brea on the map, and not in a great way, but as a risky place to mess around with things like fireworks. And therefore, Brea has deemed them illegal.
That's exactly right, Dan.
Okay.
So fireworks and wildfire-prone communities are simply not a good combo. And the conditions that make Brea such a beautiful place to live, our hillsides, our open spaces, and natural vegetation are also going to increase that wildfire risk. So that's why fireworks are not allowed in the city of Brea. The safest way to celebrate is to attend a professional fireworks show and leave the pyrotechnics to the trained experts. I'm not sure if Fullerton's doing this year, but I believe they have a show every year, and they're right next door. So
yeah, I mean, I know Yorba Linda has a great show. They're all over the place. Certainly go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Safely.
Yeah, safely and
like
no
said.
fireworks in Brea, not even the safe and sane ones that you could buy in the surrounding cities at the little booths.
Right.
Those are not allowed in Brea either.
Sparklers, sparklers, no bueno.
No bueno. So definitely any of those can still cause a fire, and we don't want that here. So
Certainly
take
not.
those elsewhere.
Certainly not. Nicole, thank you so much for coming on today. That was, as I said, a ton of information, super informative, and I look forward to the next time that we chat.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
You're the best. Next, I sat down with Brea Police Department's Aerial Support Officer, Ryan Klug, to talk about Brea PD's role in keeping Brea firework free. Officer Klug, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You are the Aerial Support Officer, Brea PD's eyes in the sky.
That is correct. Yeah, I've been doing it for about a year now.
And tell us exactly what your job entails.
Well, I'll say if 16-year-old me knew what I was doing right now, he'd be losing his mind because it feels on face value a lot like playing a video game for work, but obviously it's a lot more than that. So a year ago, we went live with our Drone as a First Responder program, which is essentially really big drones on the roof of our civic center right here centrally located in the city. And we essentially use those like a police airship. So anytime we get calls for service, we can launch that in response, like ahead of officers on the ground, being able to get eyes on what the situation is, get better information about what's going on, and kind of be like you said, eye in the sky.
So they know what they're walking into.
100%. And it's been awesome in a bunch of different ways. It's very much what we keep calling a force multiplier. It just makes us way better at what we're already kind of good at doing.
That's great.
And at like a fraction of the cost of like a police helicopter.
Of course. And if you guys listening follow Brea PD on Instagram, you see these success stories.
Yeah.
We were just talking a couple of minutes ago before we went on air that you could pump out at least once a week a success story that you guys have.
Yeah.
From your Drone as a First Responding program.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to put out. People really like seeing a lot of the wins with it. Because it's essentially a camera in the sky, so it's kind of like a good way to also show all the cool stuff our cops do.
Sure.
So we're trying to put it out more, integrate a lot more of that into like our social media. So
awesome.
It's been awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, shifting gears into this particular episode and what we're talking about summer fire safety.
Yes.
And though you aren't the fire department, your brethren. The fire department counts on you to help enforce these no firework laws.
Oh yeah,
here in the city.
I will definitely say this year, in comparison to, let's see, I've been at Brea for about 7 years now. This is probably the driest and the highest amount of legitimate fire calls that even just me on the PD side of things has kind of seen sparking up since the beginning of the year, really. House fires, obviously we just had the Carbon Canyon kind of spark up a couple weeks ago between Brea Fire and and OCFA and CAL FIRE, like they're super on it, which is awesome. But we definitely see around this time of year things start getting sparked up a lot more, just between the dry season and then also the fact that we have fireworks getting distributed now. And
right, getting handed out at neighboring cities where they are legal, but they aren't necessarily in the fire severity zones that we are in. So
a lot more risk.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about real quick fines.
Yeah.
What are people looking at shelling out if they break the law here?
It's big. So the way it's real simple, the way they break it down fine wise is first offense is $500. Second offense and every subsequent offense after that, it's $1,000.
Okay.
And when I say subsequent, that's not just per day or per incident, that's per firework.
Wow.
So you can imagine that you can rack up some pretty serious fines if you're launching off 10, 20 mortars at once. That's thousands of dollars.
10 to 20K roughly.
Yeah. It's for a good reason. It's serious. Like you said, we're on the edge of the county. We have all the Brea Hills, which are just, unfortunately, just by nature, a tinderbox.
Sure.
I don't know if you remember, but we had last year, the day before 4th of July, that fire off the freeway right by the high school.
Okay.
That almost
I do remember
lit up the high school, and that's just kind of speaking to how serious it can be, because we don't want to see any of that affect us.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk about process. So somebody breaks the law, lights a firework. How you're there. This is what we're doing. We're using the drone to get out there to catch these offenses.
Yeah. So we actually did this last year too. That was kind of like our pilot, like our training year. Really good success. It helped out a lot, not just in handling calls for service, because as you can imagine, our phone lines blow up on 4th of July.
Sure.
But also helps with actually being able to enforce it. Prior to the drone, the DFR, I mean, it's pretty chaotic. I've worked a couple of those special details. We intentionally staff extra officers just for firework enforcement because we know it's going to be an issue.
Okay.
Our call screen gets absolutely loaded up with people reporting, which is great because people are being proactive about letting us know
they
where
have to be
the
eyes out there.
100%, because we can't be everywhere at once, right?
Right.
So that helps us a lot. However, what ends up happening is because we get inundated with calls, most of the time, by the time an officer can get out to that location, whoever is or wherever the location is that they're reporting that, they're usually either done or they've gone back inside, or they're not launching fireworks anymore. It's usually in volleys of some kind.
Sure.
So that's where the drone comes in, where we're able to almost in real time fly a drone out there, see it actively being launched into the sky, see where it's coming from, and then whether it's still going on or not, by the time an officer gets there, they can make contact with whoever is setting those off.
I see. It's at nighttime, obviously, and people are usually doing this. Drones, has lights, but it is harder to see. So you can get out there, and you can get out there quickly, and you're in the air, and they may not even know it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of lights popping off in the skies during 4th of July.
Sure.
So, and these things, I mean, these drones have some pretty good camera payloads on them.
Sure.
We're even able to utilize the thermal cameras on them to see the heat signature glowing from the tubes of especially the mortar ones.
Right.
So it's all stuff that we can use to kind of leverage to nail down exactly where it came from.
Fantastic. Brea is typically on the cutting edge of technology, especially in the police department. But this, there's other cities have had success with this type of enforcement. Tell us a little bit about the success stories that you've heard of other cities doing this. This is certainly not a new thing.
Yeah, no, this is across, especially this year, now that drone as a first responder programs are popping up everywhere, especially in Orange County. Every agency that has one is going to be using them for enforcement. It's kind of becoming status quo because of how much more successful it is in actually enforcement action.
Sure.
The ones that kind of pioneered it are going to be Chula Vista PD down south by San Diego.
Got it.
They're one of the they've had drones for probably close to a decade now, and they have a lot of success stories in their applications for firework enforcement. So much so that even their public knows, like, hey, this is going on, and just the fact that they have a drone program is in and of itself a deterrent.
Sure. That's a great thing to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, hey, good luck. I hope you don't have to catch anybody.
I hope so too.
I hope that the skies are clear of both you and the fireworks. And everybody can just enjoy America 250 safely and leave it to the professionals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd encourage, anyone, please feel free to call in. That's how we direct our officers. They're out driving around, obviously, but the more we can get an idea of where people are seeing them coming from, the more we can kind of focus on our efforts in certain areas. So, yeah.
Awesome. Officer, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it.
We're going to get you on next time. We'll talk a little more. We'll geek out. It's from one drone pilot to another.
Absolutely.
We could
go a little bit more long form.
Yeah, maybe like a 3-part.
Yeah.
Like a 3-part series on.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So there you have it, folks. That's Brea Fire Department Fire Marshal Nicole Pesqueira and Brea Police Department Aerial Support Officer Ryan Klug weighing in on Brea summer fire safety. That's it for this episode of Brea Talks. This episode and all episodes of Brea Talks can be heard wherever you get your podcast, as well as on Brea TV and our Brea TV app. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, rate, and review, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again for listening in as Brea Talks.